Howdy folks, it's Johan, your favorite little ink blob, back at it today with another Murders at Karlov Manor draft. I have once again managed to sleep through an alarm, so sorry about the hour late start, we're working on it. I woke up early today, like at 8, and then apparently managed to sleep through my second alarm. It's a process. But we are back, we're going to do another draft, and we're going to have a blast. And hopefully at the end, depending on how I'm feeling, since, sorry, did start a bit late, if we've got sort of the time. Salutations, Aya. If we've got some extra time, we're gonna rock the totally normal event that is now accessible since we solved all of the clues. How's it going, Aya? Alright, waiting for the table to fill. Yes, I saw Doki Doki Literature Club. You are in for a ride with that one. That is a great one to go in blind to. Should be a nice little palate cleanser from Undyne. In a non-committal way. I don't want to spoil anything. Alright. And readied up! Yay! Okay, what have we got today? Treacherous Greed is going to be not... I don't think Treacherous Greed works well in Limited. I've gotten got, but not a game for kids? I will agree with that one. I think we probably start off with a Detective Satchel. This is just a very powerful card. Like, I like Treacherous Greed in concept, but triggering it reliably is kind of tough. Because it has to deal damage and survive, so there's a decent chance that's a creature you'll want. I'm just gonna go with the Satchel and hope for the best. Hey, Pride of the Whole Clade! We could get our 4th copy. Or oh, right, 3rd. We only took 2 the draft where we saw 3 of them. However, I think Gadget Technician is going to be a much better pairing with the Detective Satchel. We're kind of hard committing to Izzet early on, which is a little awkward, especially since we aren't seeing a lot of good support. But you know, not every pack is going to have everything that we want. And I think we would still be happy with either of these 2 cards if they wield. So we'll go with the Technician. Used to play Monument Valley when you were a kid and not surprised that I played it. Yep. It's one that's been kicking around. I loved the aesthetics, and I genuinely thought it was a much longer game. But it was fun. It was a good time. Yeah. I was very fond of the Totem Friend. Red Herring, I'm not, like, actually that sad about, but I do think Crime Stopper Sprite is still just better. Dramatic Accusation, I think I would also take over the Herring, but... Ooh. Not the Mask Maker. I don't like Caught Red-Handed. Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. You get to peek at a disguised creature you steal with this, don't you? That's interesting. I still think I'll take the Dramatic Accusation. And still have it on your phone? That would be a fun thing. And yeah, don't worry about Doki Doki. It's fine. Why don't I like the card? So Red Herring it's an interesting one. The main reason I don't like it is it's a decent, efficient creature, except you give up some control over it because it has to attack each turn. So even if it's a situation where it's probably not a good idea to attack with it, it still has to attack, which can result in situations where you're basically just throwing it away. So while it does have some very good upside, it also has some very big downside. Um, Clan Basher is fun, but I think I'm going to try Case of the Filched Falchion. Yeah. I'm sorry, you're gonna hate Doki Doki Literature Club then. It's got no psychological horror whatsoever. They throw in the only psychological horror is that they put in the psychological horror tag to try and make you think that there's something going on. Out cold? Okay. Could also be criminologists. Alright. I wish you luck with that one. Yee? I think Curious Inquiry? No, we've got... Yeah, it can help us generate more stuff for Detective Satchel, and we'll try it. I haven't actually gotten to play this before. None of these are what we want. I believe so. Or at least I think that's the implication, from what I recall. I also have not played, I have only watched, which I think Uno was saying that was also the boat you're in. Ooh, okay. Pack 2, we've got a deadly cover-up to start. Not really what we're doing. But we are... I guess we aren't too hard committed to red at the moment. Oh. Get one little face reveal. Make an O3 and a clue? Maybe? Could also take the braggart. Granite witness, maybe. I think it's hard evident. Oh, this is rough. Monkey. I think the monkey is good here. Surveillance monitor we could take. We're kind of in desperate need of 2-drops, so maybe that herring would have been good. Also kills me to not be taking rares. But monkey can eat some clues or some thopters, so I think fairly decent. Kylox, I don't think is, yeah, where it's at, and also doesn't increase our rare count. Could be an offender at large. Can come down as a 3-drop and help us get a little aggressive. Not feeling too optimistic about this draft. It's probably a little early to say, but it is also often the decks that you aren't very the ones that you aren't very confident are the ones that often do the best. And then sometimes you pull a rare that fits in perfectly. So now all of our clues can be cheaper. Wait, no, we want both of these rares. I think the Gadgeteer is going to suit us better, but damn. Can we somehow wield the ill-timed explosion? I think that requires a higher color commitment, so I'm hoping. Hey, good 2-drop. Galvanize, I think, is decent removal. See, now I need to look up the Doki Doki Literature Club protagonist. Oh yeah, he's cute. He's got the fancy hair going on, slightly shaggy. Very understandable. Uh, forensic researcher? Probably? Don't think we take another detonation. Ugh. Could be a funny splash, perhaps, but, I guess... I guess we'll go with the other suspicious detonation. We probably won't run one of them. Yes, I did. Nice and horrifying. We'll take the exit, because I don't think we trigger... it reliably enough. Well, there's 20 gems, I guess. Junji Ito, I don't know, a lot of Asian horror in general seems to do a lot more with body horror than I'm used to, and I think it's a very good thing. Ooh, the pyrotechnic performer. Cholera, get in here, we've got your favorite card. Oh, actually, this is a 2 rare 3 mythic pack. Fun, fun. I like the pyrotechnic performer. I think exit specialist would also be great, and I also like the shock, but I think the performer is just a very, very good card. Magma. Oh, we could throw our clues at people? Interesting. But I think we'll take another gadget technician. That's just, I think, kind of what we want to be doing on our 4 spot. Fair enough. It's, as someone who has, like, a blood phobia, I'm also not overall huge on body horror, but I find it interesting. I really enjoyed a lot of the, like, K-zombie shows and movies that came out, just because they took a more sort of interesting body horror take on zombies. So I think Train to Busan is my favorite zombie movie at this point. Korean zombie, similar to like K-pop, K-zombie, J-pop. I don't know. I guess Zom 100 is J-zombie. Yeah, All of Us Are Dead. Another great show. K-zombies. Exactly. Yeah, no, All of Us Are Dead. Although, God, I'm so scared. I haven't seen... I know they're talking about a second season for that, and... I don't know where it goes. I think they've already done the thing. Oh, okay. I mean, hey, they are... I get it. I have definitely met people that are not big fans and in fact find them deeply unsettling. My mother is one such person, but even she managed we managed to get her to watch The Walking Dead at one point, although in black and white, which is what I do because that helps me with blood. Gotcha. It's the one that you can't shrug off super easily. Volt Strider. Ooh. that's a pretty good pickup. Does the projector inspector add anything to us? I think the answer is no, so I'm gonna answer after hypnosis kind of stuff. So I want, is it something where you don't like stuff that's as where like the will of people is taken away? Is that kind of like, or is it just two separate ones? I'm trying to connect it more in my brain than there's necessarily an actual pattern of. Demand answers away. Okay. Yeah, I will say, like, the majority of why I enjoy zombie related stuff is because I find hypnosis cool but don't like it. Yep. Um, yeah, the things where you are no longer you, where your control is taken away, is like very fundamentally upsetting. Most of why I enjoy zombie stuff is because of the like survival aspect, or the, I guess, PvE Um, I enjoy the sort of post-apocalyptic shell that it often comes with, and it provides an interesting challenge for folks. I think we could end up using the Cornered Crook. I think that would probably be better than some of our other 5 drops. Okay, this deck picked up some stuff. I don't know. I don't know how good it's going to be, but we certainly we got some interesting things. Would have loved that ill-timed explosion to come back, but you can't always get what you want. Zombies when you were a kid, and that's where the fear started? Gotcha. That's as a kid, I slept with my head under the covers for a decent chunk of my young life because I was convinced that would help save my brain from any rampant zombies and my neck from any rampant vampires. So I get the childhood fear. The crime novelist, I think, can actually get kind of silly in our deck. So, whoop, let's separate out creatures from other spells. That's what I thought. We are definitely non-creature heavy. I think Caught Red-Handed goes away. It's an interesting concept, but I don't think we've got the sacrifice outlets to take full advantage. Volt Strider is kind of a creature. Same with Detective Satchel. Hard Evidence is also a one. The Haunting Hour, I always thought it was 12 or 2 a.m., but I keep hearing it's 3 a.m. I've heard it. I think it's one of those things that's just developed as like I see, like I've heard of it as the witching hour. I think I've heard of it as 1 a.m. I suspect that it's one of those bits of folklore that manages to just bounce around and constantly change with every iteration. Crazy. Um, it's probably Curious Inquiry, which sucks because I think that's a very fun artifact generator, but I don't think it's good enough. Because I think they just kill whatever it goes on. Um, Oh, hey, with crime novelist, we can act crime novelist and forensic research. Wait, no, forensic gadgeteer. We can actually make our clue cracking mono neutral. That's fun. Used to watch Horror Kid Show, and some said 2 a.m. Okay, that's yeah. I think it does bounce around a fair bit. I've also never heard like a great description of what it's supposed to be. My current concept of it is that just sort of like how Samhain and the other like quarter and cross quarter days from a lot of like pagan celebrations, basically like the solstices, the equinoxes, and the days between them are meant to be like sort of liminal days. That's kind of the best I've figured out. Midnight Man was what made me believe at 12. Ah, I've not come across that, but I can guess with a name like Midnight Man. I think we can ditch the researcher. These ones we probably just want to be playing as 4 drops, unless we've got the pyrotechnic performer. I think it might it might be the dramatic accusation, even though that's like our only piece of hard removal. Maybe we're just trying to out tempo folks. Ooh, I don't think I'd want to play that game of hide and seek. It can be a fun game for a little bit, but very rapidly would become not worth it. Okay, I should actually do a clue count and figure out if Case of the Filched Falchion is worth it. So hard evidence, Detective Satchel. This actually helps for our artifact count. So 3. Actually, so does Detective Satchel triggers Case on its own. That's not bad. But okay, so 1 clue, or so clue, clue, clue. 2 clues. And Thopters. Okay. Like, I think it's doable. Oh, mirrors at night? Interesting. You know what? We actually cut a suspicious detonation, I think. Might be wrong, but this is what we're gonna go with. And depending on how many clues we actually do end up generating, I might bring in this curious inquiry again or the candlestick. Possibly both. We will see. Okay. I think this is our deck. I am not confident, but it will be interesting. I've not heard of Creeped Out. But I do have Netflix. Currently watching Song Creature. God, I cannot pronounce Korean for anything. Um, but after that, I might try it. I might take a peep. Mm. So this deck does not have a lot of 2-drops, so having 3 drops is probably the best we can realistically expect. We've got some stuff, sure. Except, of course, the zombie episode. Fair enough. You know, that's... I've never finished watching, was like... I can't even remember the name of it, but there was a Scooby-Doo movie that had something to do with zombies that scared me way too much as a kid, and I never finished it. I should go back and watch it. Read the synopsis and liked the message of Creeped Out? Oh, of the zombie episode. Gotcha. Well, that's good. Okay, Queso Pilfered Proof is... Yikes. Power of Music? Heck yeah. I think we'll do Offender at Large. Let's, I still need to actually read, Warzy. I enjoyed the movie adaptation, and the book sounds like it's a lot better, but that's the beauty, they use music to attract the zombies into a pit and kill them that way. So, yeah, Hour of Music, yo. There we go. We like that land. We'll be able to start chipping in with the Gadget Technician and the Thopter, hopefully. But, Case of the Pilfered Proof. You can do some real work, even though it doesn't fit where you want it to on the curve. That do be the way of things, don't it? Cracking the clue. Interesting. Hmm. I did go through a phase where I was like juggling 2 different K-dramas, but oh no, like I can enjoy it. I can enjoy the sort of like schlocky soap opera equivalents, but I don't know. Some of them were also just not good and a fairly big time commitment. So we could Sprite and Hard Evidence, or we could do a second Gadget Technician, which I think is probably better. So we can attack with both of these, because that's a trade, which I'm kinda okay with. They do not take the trade. Okay. See, I used to not be, and then I spent a year just kind of not talking to people and started watching way too much of whatever anime was on Netflix. Uh, so became more of a fan. I'm so afraid that this is going to be a sweeper. Sure. Yep. Pretty much same. I'd watched like bits and pieces before that, but that was when I went, you know what, we're gonna work through a lot. What you got, opponent? Oh look, the sweeper! I knew it! I was not expecting it, otherwise I maybe wouldn't have committed so hard to the board, because this hurts a lot. But Death Note? Gotcha. It was fun. I'm really terrible as a TV watcher because I am usually relatively good at figuring out what the beats are going to be. It's just my brain is like, ah yes, this is the naturally occurring next thing. Um Darn, so we could have even that would have been great, but they had the wrath. Why do there have to be like 3 wraths in this set? Terrible. Do we run out? Ah, yes, definitely. Just very smart. No, it's kind of bad because things like Death Note, it was enjoyable. I've watched it twice. It's just it came off as a lot of the like big plot twists didn't really grab me because I was like, oh yes, this is what is probably going to happen. Yeah. Do I want to play out Sprite for no value? No, we'll hold off, and we might crack the clue or out cold. God, that ill-timed explosion hurt. It was, in fact, very ill-timed for us. Very well-timed for the opponent. Okay. Death Parade. Interesting. Oh, actually, we could crack the clue and then Suspicious Detonation on our turn. Might be what we want to do. I've not heard of Death Parade. Yeah, I think we crack the clue, and then we'll Suspicious Detonation the Cold Case Cracker. Oh, interesting. So, an interesting concept. So, do you consign yourself to oblivion, or do you roll the dice again? Oh, follows the bartender in training. Actually, that sounds very cozy. I enjoy things that are following just like day in the life of people. I think I think the I think my favorite anime is Girls' Last Tour, which is an adorable one of it's just 2 gals with a half track wandering a sort of rundown apocalyptic city. And it's a very lonely anime. And just a very gorgeous setting. So just sort of those chill vibes I enjoy a lot. When they decide it's by playing a game. Oh, okay, so like dealing with the classic play a game with death for your life trope. Fun, fun. I think we don't block because we can block the inspector with it. Yeah. Oh, no, no, saying, oh, classic trope. Classic tropes can still be very good. I very much enjoy things that are dealing with I very much enjoy things that deal with like games for it's classic but cool idea. Yeah. My articulation is not great at the moment. I'm like a very big sucker for like card and gambling aesthetics. Is It's only 12 episodes, okay. But yeah, so stuff like Kakagurui, yep. Even though I would not call it an objectively good show, it's one that I have enjoyed quite a bit. I really enjoy that. It's part of a game that I should pick up at some point. I believe it's called Card Shark. is doing exactly what I wanted a game to do, where it's creating sort of reflex. Found it too repetitive. Yep, it's not a good show, but it scratches an itch for me at least. Oh my god, opponent is just too synergistic and wrathed us. We are super dead. But no, Card Shark was great because it basically it's a game built around uh having people learn particular cheats, magic tricks, and like things that a card mechanic does well. Which was great. I was trying to figure out how one could like put together a oh, what's the word? I guess more of like an RPG with that as like the combat mechanic, but I think they did it way more smoothly than I ever could. Like the first episode you love, but then it's the same thing where the MC pretends to lose and then finds out how the other is cheating and then ends up winning. Exactly. That's like I enjoyed going and seeing the particular cheats and how they were handling it, the realistic nature of some of them, and sometimes how it was going, off the deep end with it. It's just that's I guess cotton candy for my brain. It's not very filling, it's not great for me, but my brain goes, yes, you want more. Oh my god. Opponent, please. Mercy. And all of them have vigilance. I think we have to double block just so that they can't make one thing unblockable and murder us next turn. We are super dead. I don't think there's anything we could draw. Okay, so we can Zot them for 3. Yay! Yeah, no, we're just dead. Ill-timed explosion followed up by a whole bunch of detectives. I don't know Monster. Parasite was good. And Alice in Borderland also very good, and I think is getting another season, which I'm very happy about. Running it back into a new game. Yeah. Yeah, I do want to read the Alice in Borderland manga, but I've been enjoying the Netflix adaptation. Ah, you collect manga. Very nice. Yeah, I have not. I collect books and have picked up a little bit of manga in the process. I was really happy. I a I was so similar to Girls Last Tour. There's a show that only has like 4 uh episodes, called Yokohama Shopping Log. I'm like, oh, but it's got a manga. I need to read the manga. Oh, why does it have to give me a hand like this? We're on the draw. We got a 1-drop. We can crack the clue to draw something. We'll give it a shot. So I really wanted to read the manga. When I looked into it, though, from what I could tell, there was never an official English translation of it. Because it's not, like, a very big or popular one. Okay. Yikes. I think no, we will still crack the clue. Because it gives us something to do with our mana, so even though we're missing out on, like, a piece of value and the suspicious detonation, no, yes, maybe, I don't know. We'll see what opponent does. Whether or not we need the card advantage or we need to make as much use of this clue as possible. I think we need to maximize the value on it. So we crime novelist. If it survives, we can crack the clue. We get 1 red back, and then we can suspicious detonation the 10th district hero. Mm-hmm. Oh, alright. I'll check it after stream. I've currently got it set. I'm not taking this block. I've currently got it set up. I've got 2 separate accounts on Discord that I can hot swap between, but so unfortunately, I don't get notifications when I'm on my personal account for the, I guess, quote-unquote, business Discord. I'm trying to figure out a better way to handle that. I do, however, get an email, like, an hour later that I've missed messages. Dog walker, okay. Ah, that's the trick. Oh, no, no, no! Oh, that's so bad! Platinum. I have not heard of it. Oh, Platinum End. Blech. Platinum End. Still haven't heard of it, but... Another face down card. Oh my god. Interesting. Oh... Things were looking good, and then they weren't. I probably should not have kept the hand. Oh, interesting. That concept, for me, the first time I came across anything in that vein was, Here's Anthony? Incarnations of Immortality, which is a very, very good book series that I highly recommend, although don't read the 8th book. The first 5, I think, were planned. The next 2 were interesting, even though I think they were just sort of add-ons to flesh it out more. And then, the last one, it was just, no. Half of them don't even want to be God. Understandable. That probably means that they would be better gods than the average candidate. The whole, those who seek power are probably least fit to possess it. That whole deal. Okay. No value monkey. Oh, darn. Okay, so I guess there is value to that, because now we can't just kill it with the Thopter from flipping up. But maybe we unauthorized exit, because then we also get the Surveil. They're being very conservative in their attacks. Oh, no, we want that satchel, but... Oh, then he... Well, that's what you get for murdering baby gods, I guess. So opponent is kind of giving us a chance to get back in this. If we get one more land, we can Cornered Crook and hopefully kill the 10th District hero by sacking a Thopter. They're humans chosen by angels. Okay, but I would consider them to be infants as gods. That's new gods. They're being chosen by angels, but they're presumably new to the whole godhood thing. Is what I'm getting at. All of them were about to die. Ah, so it's sort of a last chance dealio. Howdy, Pitta. Oh, this is bad. Things are going poorly. I have not heard of the Scythe trilogy. Oh, and we could have even done the Cornered Crook thing. I think we'll flip this up and Vengeful Tracker. The last book was terrible, not a good ending. Unfortunate. The way I feel about Crime and Punishment. Yes, you have recommended Hyper Rogue. I haven't taken a look yet, but I should. Oh god, they're gonna enervate the Novelist, but that's their best blocker. It's free on itch, and costs money on stream. On Steam. You have mentioned that it's free on itch. You did not mention that it was paid on Steam. But that is good to know. All-out attack? No, still being super conservative about it. And now 10th District Hero can become a 4/4. No, Doki Doki Literature Club is good, though. Ten out of 10 would recommend Doki Doki Literature Club over watching me, but I appreciate it. So we just take 4 because, I guess it's only Vigilance, so we can double block and then trade there. Ooh. This is true. This is true. So they replay the Sanguine Savior. And then... Dunno. I think the fact that you are aware that there might be a surprise will probably make it less surprising, but I guess we... I think we cornered Crook. Oh, I should have attacked with Thopter. That was bad. But we cornered Crook, we killed the Drone Smith, so that now they don't get the free buff from Neighborhood Guardian every turn. And we deal with that flyer, but it's still going to be such a problem. Like, I would have loved to get rid of Neighborhood Guardian, but their jump scares will be okay, hopefully. You do get scared, but loud noises is what gets you. Just things being startling. We've been just like one step behind this entire game. If we had gotten that 10th District Hero and they hadn't been able to use the Dog Walker, that would have been so good. They're gonna flip. This is gonna be another Dog Walker and we're just dead anyway, right? Or they exile something from the graveyard, collect evidence, we lose 1 off of Soul Enervation. We got by Treacherous Greed, the card that we said we didn't... No, this has been the second time! Still need to go through and do a supercut of us losing every time we took Massacre Girl. There's going to be a supercut of me losing to Treacherous Greed after talking bad about it. Ah. I know that if I take the Treacherous Greed, I'm going to also have terrible luck with him. The Shining wasn't that scary, but you watch on the play with crappy headphones and then the music peaked and that was the only time you jumped. Gotcha. Thank you, I appreciate the luck. Again, probably keepable hands, but... I need to go back and rewatch Monty Python. Oh wait, no, it was Princess Bride, that was it. Need to rewatch Princess Bride because it's been a while, and the most recent time I've watched it was watching someone else watching it on a plane. So I got no sound, but I was just like trying to remember and make up the dialogue from my vague memory of what the plot was. Yeah. It's been a hot minute. Okay, Case of the Shattered Pact. Okay, so you're playing that as like a filler card? We have also drawn a lot of land. Aya, I'm concerned about the luck you've given me. No, I appreciate it. Um, so we'll probably like detect as you gave me good luck, but apparently a very specific kind. Like I probably could have blocked there, but I sense like a toxin analysis or something. I think we detective satchel. Understandable. I know, like I sense a toxin analysis. Because you do not make that attack unless you have a combat trick. Or you are just very, very brave. Princess Bride does have some very quotable stuff. I very much enjoy the Sicilian trying to figure out, like, you know, how the poisoning works out. I know I used that a number of times when I'm, like, doing the, like, 3 to 5 steps ahead. Okay. Oh, they've got it anyway? Oh. My name is Inigo Montoya. You've killed my father. Prepare to die. I think we crack the clue. We get to make a Thopter. Okay, we'll get to trigger Case of the Filched Falcon. Blech. So we can make a clue a 4-4? Or maybe make the Thopter a 5-5? Fair enough. Good time for it. Do we jump? Yeah, we jump. Okay. This is, not great. This is very, very, very bad. We could have potentially cracked a clue there just to draw one card deeper, but I think we crack the clue, see what we draw, we make a Thopter, and then we probably... Ooh. Oh, but we can't even collect evidence it? Ugh. I think we try to make a Thopter big so that we can eat the Basilica Stalker. And then, of course, they'll have, like, murder or something, right? Oh, on target non... Oh, God, we can't even do that. I misunderstood. I thought this card was better than it was. Oh wait, no, but it gains flying, Johan. It gains flying. Okay. 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 We're still probably going to die. It is what it is. Now the toxin analysis. Airtight alibi. Ah, that is so much worse for us. Hey, the Gadgeteer. Hey. We've got a chump blocker. We are so powerfully dead. God, this deck has done nothing. Nothing. Possibly. Oh. It happens. I do think we probably could have made some slightly better draft decisions, but I think the deck was open enough and we had some fairly good pieces. But I think we were a little too synergistic and not enough individually good pieces, so we're just kind of constantly behind in our games. Well, I can play out the Crime Stopper sprite as a one-turn chump. Not enough evidence to collect to make it more useful, unfortunately. Ugh. Okay, hello, Courser. Or, Crowd Control Warden, there we go. Hello, Courser, my old friend. Very fair. If I say chump blocking, what I mean is I am using a creature to block, knowing it will simply die. It will not do anything other than get in the way of... It will die instead of my face dying. It is the equivalent of throwing it under the bus. Okay. Definitely not. At some point, I think it would be fun to go through and do like play with some of the like super, do some of the intro decks, play through those and just like talk through it a little bit if people would be interested in that. It will die instead of my face dying. No, exactly. 7 means 7 power that is greater than the 6 life that my face currently contains. If it connects, it punches my soul out, and I am very sad. So instead, we put the little fairy in front, and the fairy gets its face punched and gets murdered. Well, I may do that at some point. Extract a confession, you will kill the thing that cannot block. Yes, no, and that is... It would be fun to try and make things a little less confusing. I must block so I do not die. But we are simply delaying the inevitable. Disguising it out to make their tipster bigger. Okay. Aha! We have found another chump blocker. It's time for crab. And we can also make a thopter. Whee! Ah, that will make us another thopter. The little guys. I do think that's one of the things I will say is a little bit unfortunate about recent Magic design, is that they've made it so that pretty much every card has a lot going on. Which is not the worst, but it makes it a lot harder. I think it's a much more difficult game for people to just pick up and start with. I understand Monument Valley and Baba is you, but the card games are the ones that confuse me, yeah. And that's... I think the basic concept of Magic is a very straightforward one. The very basic concept of Magic is you've got like a 60 card deck, about 2/5 of which is land, and the other 3/5 is whatever you want it to be. Typically creatures, which are things that you can attack with to kill your opponent, and spells that you can use to interact with their game pieces. And the land, the 2/5 of the deck that's land, is what lets you pay to cast the spells and the creatures. That's the, like, very most baseline thing. So that... Oh, and that there are 5 colors. So the 5 colors being blue, which you use islands, mountains, or red, which are mountains, green, which use forests, black, which uses swamps, and white, which uses plains. We know that's a 3/4. Oh, that would have been hilarious if we could have blocked this turn. I think we can afford to take the 2. Yeah. Oh, I guess they do get to flip it up, so they get to hit for 3. We will still take that. And then, so each card has a casting cost. So, one moment, we attack with the Thopter, doing a little explanation while... Is 6 the number of HP? Yes. So, you each start at 20 life, and if your life total reaches 0, you die. You lose the game, in most circumstances. The thing I will say about Magic is, because it has, like, I think 22,000 plus unique cards, there's almost always an exception to anything I say. There are ways around it. But yeah, so you die if your life total becomes 0. Oh, and we are just dead because they can attack with 3. Or if your library runs out of cards and you would draw. So, basically, if you have no more cards left to draw, but then something tells you that you would draw, whether that's the card that you draw at the beginning of every turn, or if it's an additional card that has an effect that says draw a card. Yep, we died. And it's very unfortunate because we won't have quite enough gems to do a draft tomorrow, so we are going to have to fill in with some standard or other shenanigans for a little while until my gold rebuilds. You run out of card draw, you die. It's a choice probably wouldn't make designing a card game. But it's the reason why they do it is because it provides a different axis of attack, and there are a lot of things that you can do to cycle through. It doesn't come up very frequently. And it's not if you run out of card draw, it's if you run out of cards to draw. So there are strategies that intentionally start, rather than attacking your life total, attack your deck. There are things that you can do to get your graveyard shuffled back in and whatnot. It allows you to create some... Okay. But it creates for a very interesting access. Alrighty. I'm going to switch over and do some of this super secret, totally normal event that we unlocked, where we get to play some other pre-constructed decks. But it allows you to get around certain styles of gameplay that, at least in my opinion, I think it was a good move. Let's go with Mishra. I think the much more problematic one, the much more problematic aspect of design was when they introduced the concept of poison counters, which is another way to lose the game. That basically you die if you get 10 poison counters. And as a result, there are a lot of ways to sort of cheese that and do that way faster, because yeah, no, in the original mechanic was called Infect. It's one that has bothered a lot of people because life gain and mill being the term for like removing cards from their library, there's ways to interact with that. 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker if excess damage. Ugh, oh god, it's an alchemy event. Okay. The poison counters are very difficult to interact with. That's not one that has a lot of natural responses. Hello again! We are doing a fun little event that, sure, we'll take a Dusk Legion Zealot. We're doing an event that they've been, giving us clues a little bit by a little bit over the past, month or so. Because the current set's theme is like detective, and after you put in all of the clues, you get to play this fun event for card styles. Okay, they're taking my Garna, the Blood Flame. But yeah, so poison. Counting to 10 poison counters, third way to lose the game. There's a lot fewer things that you can do to counteract that. Whereas like with the mill, what that does, if you get into a state where the board is kind of locked, it can it provides a different out. It allows you to try and manage a different side of resources so that it's not just sitting there staring at each other for the rest of eternity, basically. Um okay. Fire Prophecy lets you cycle a card? Yeah, okay. Which one? There's a number of cards. Oh, also, I don't know if I've... The black one? Oh, the Dusk Legion Zealot? Yeah. He's a little guy. He draws cards for you. Don't think we're doing anything with a 3-drop. Can't block and cannot be blocked. Oh, I meant to play the tap land. Whoops. Wah. Oh, have you opened some packs? Yeah, I think we use this to kill the Valky. That's so fun. I do have an extension running that should allow you to hover over cards on the screen if you're on desktop and actually, look at them closer. If you don't know what they do, but perhaps less useful, but fun little thing. Robber of the rich. No, I'm getting Robin Hooded. I guess I am the Sheriff of Nottingham. That's fun. I know they used to do like intro packs. I think they still do, of just trying to get, the first hits free. Interesting. So I think we Twinferno and then Fire Prophecy? That sounds cool. Any place that gives you magic cards. And then, yeah, definitely Robber. Ah. Oh, I feel I'm getting flashbacks. I think we talked about the fun restaurant, and then I mentioned like the board game cafe that I've seen around here. Yeah, that's sad. Okay, we cycled the tapped land for an untapped land. I think we're actually good with our hand otherwise. Nice. And I think it's more important to preserve our life total. Dun dun dun. Yep, go to Toronto just for the magic cards. So return all creature cards that were put there from anywhere this turn and gives other things haste. Okay, but my stuff is legendary, so that's maybe not the best. Aw, that sounds fun. Like, I enjoy stuff that has, like, fun presentation in that vein. We'll pass the turn again and try and get them with Garna. So I enjoy baking and whatnot, but my presentation always sucks. I'm like, look, it's homemade, it's good tasting, even if it's not pretty. But then you don't feel bad about eating it. So there's an upside. Aha, they remembered that I had the Garna. Oh, butterbeer. Okay. I don't know what that would consist of in real life. Mounted Dread Knight. Ah. It get big. Okay. So we can slam down a Professor Onyx this turn. But I don't I don't actually know what she does, so let's find out. Hey, Professor Onyx, what do you do when class is in session? You make our instant and sorceries drain 2. That's not bad. We get to dig through cards for life. Ah, and we can make them sacrifice. They're 7/5, but then you just die. Okay. We'll run her out, we'll dig a bit. Tastes like root beer, but at the Warner's Brothers studio, it was butterscotch flavored. Interesting. A butterscotch flavored root beer actually does sound quite nice. No attacks. You know, it's funny. I've tried homebrewing actual beer and mead, but I have not tried homebrewing root beer. I should do that at some point. I didn't, when I was doing it, I didn't have the like anise and other spices. Whoa. Sorry, my voice is whoa. It was butterscotch or something. Oh, wait. Oh, they can make stuff unable to block. I did not realize that. Unfortunate. Oh, and it had trample. I'm... Good plays, Johan. Good plays. Well, we need to play out some sort of extra blocker. Yeah. Not good. Then we just jump and die. So I'm just what was it still like a slightly fizzy drink if it was while being butterscotch flavored? I'm trying to contextualize because I don't know, just drinking liquid butterscotch sounds. No worries. I have that effect on people. I also have that effect on myself. Maybe that's my issue. Using my psychic powers for making people forget what they were about to say on myself. Okay. Sure. Very fair. There are very few things that I eat and then remember that many years later. There's a particular type of snickerdoodle, which someone at our school made, and then a friend of a... No, it was just a friend got the recipe. No, the parent of a friend got the recipe. Their kid got the recipe. Their kid exchanged, who was my friend, exchanged the recipe with a different friend, and then I was then able to do some work to get the recipe from them. That's still long enough that you're not going to remember how something was necessarily. Aha, we're in the mirror match. We're both playing the same deck. The literal exact same. Tianali's Summoner. Ah, okay, so you can fireball, make some 1/1s, basically. Intriguing. Don't like butterscotch? But butterscotch's so good. Okay. Ooh. Wow. Okay. Shoot. Okay. Galena is fun. But yeah, so let's do Delina first. Dessert wine. Yes, with two S's. Dessert wine. I have not tried dessert wine. I'm not a very big wine person. I'm also not really a very big beer person. I enjoy the concept of alcohol, but very rarely the reality of it. Orb of Nature is so fair and balanced in its native land. Orb of Nature? Oh, from Hyper Rogue. It's sweet and very good. That's yeah, Hyper Rogue. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just the like bitter underpinning of alcohol. It's hard for me to like get by with the sweetness. Like I don't know, like a Jack Daniels and a Coke or something. I do enjoy sweet things overall. I at least for me, I think I'd rather it not be. I'd rather not have it in my in alcohol just because it conflicts too much. I'm like, ooh, sweet thing, and then oh no, it has other flavors too. Hey, we get to roll again. Damn. Okay, here's all the luck you were giving me earlier, Aya. We're getting to just roll 18s and 19s and make a whole bunch of elementals. Whee! That was a very interesting, so they did a, like, D&D crossover set, and one of the mechanics in it was rolling a d20. There have been, like, coin flips and whatnot before, but, generally speaking, it's interesting to make such luck-based things in Magic, but I can kind of get behind it in small doses. Yeah, it's at some point, like I hope at some point to like visit Ireland and whatnot. And I'm sure I will, visit bars while I'm there. But just by and large, I'd much rather be sober, hanging out, and enjoying the world than uh, using alcohol. But sometimes, on some occasions, like I definitely drank like a small airplane bottle of Bailey's on St. Patrick's Day and whatnot. The restaurant, you could roll a 20-sided dice. If you roll a 20, you got a shot glass. Yes, I recall that. It's fun to have like nice little gimmicks like that. It just adds a little to the experience. Hey, 220s, nice. Thing to dust. What is discerning taste? Okay. I think we mulligan this hand. There's not a whole lot going on. Hey, Gutter Bones and Young Peasy. Hell yeah. Okay, so that's another thing that I think makes Magic a little tough is the some of the language that's evolved around it, some of the nicknames and whatnot, get a little wonky. Like earlier, I talked about the concept of mill. Well, why is it called mill? It's because in the first set ever printed, the one card that did that was called Millstone. So now that effect just sort of gets colloquially the known as mill, and that's just kind of it's baked into how people talk about the game now. It's actually, I think they even made that a keyword now, so cards actually say mill a certain amount of cards. And, that's not super accessible for folks who haven't, been around the block with it before, so. Okay, so we need to use these before the end of next turn. So this lets us look at some piles, and what does this do? We can cycle through our hand a bit, which would not be bad. Well, sure. We'll just use this to cycle through our hand, since we've got the cards anyway. We have to choose 2, so we'll just make our thing bigger. We can only pay 1. And I think we will get rid of the gate. Sure. Untapped land, we'll take it. Oh no! Got earbuds in, and my my grating voice directly into your ear. It won't be enough to hurt anyone. No, hope your ear's okay. Ah, that will do it. Okay, 3 life, but we draw 3 cards. Burning down the house. Yep, we'll do this pile. Keep forgetting to put them on. Ah, need to get your ears used to them again. Cards like this is interesting. So there's a whole subset of cards that essentially force little mini games within Magic of, you know, which. So like there's 2 piles, and then I have to try and figure out, and then I get to reveal one of them, and then my opponent has to choose to either give me the pile that I showed them or the pile that I left face down. So it's sort of, it's the, going back to Princess Bride, the Sicilian problem, right? Of like, well, they know that I know and they know. And with your watch, which you haven't worn in over a year, I used to wear watches. They are surprisingly handy. Despite the fact that we have phones that also have computers that also have a timekeeping component these days. Oh, nice. Fancy watch. So I can use this to destroy Judith, which I will do. Yerp. And then Delina. Oh, good old fancy, wind it up and all that good stuff. I love the fact that people used to sell time. That was a job in larger cities because there would be a centralized clock that was getting regulated and what people were basing things off of. But to actually keep things so that if you were living far away from the clock, basically someone would go around with a timepiece that was on a smaller scale that they were setting to the larger timepiece each day, and they would sell you the time. I love that. I think that's such a cool sort of quirk of the past. If an opponent lost life, interesting. Parents got it for you when you were younger. That seems like a great gift. I agree. Well, I think history would have been awful to live in, but it's very neat to learn about. Grave shifter. Yes, good amendment. No, it's something for me. Something I would like to do. It would probably need to be pre-recorded content. But I would love to mess around. A great YouTube channel that I highly recommend if you have any interest in history, particularly in American colonial history. Townsend's is a lovely channel that does a lot of sort of living archaeology type stuff. And I would love to, mess around with blacksmithing some more and just mess around with basically some older crafts. And I think that would be a fun thing to do. Okay, so we can pay 2, we can pay 4, and get rid of both of those. I think that's probably good enough. Bam, bam. Have a quill somewhere lying around your house. That's awesome. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Nope, I misread that. Oh, you divided among... Oh, God. I am a genius. This is a lie. Okay. Oh, when you visited Yorktown. That's awesome. That's so cool. Oh, that was very silly. Why did I read it like that? Well, at least now we can return gutter bones. Oh, we needed to do it for 6. We had the mana. I was thinking of it more like a fireball. No, it's I haven't ever used a quill before, but I do have a couple of nibbed pens, and I am so bad I scatter ink everywhere. Yeah, no, that's super fair. Um that's I mean, US history, Canadian history, Mexican history. I think I I need to I don't know enough about Mexican history. Like I know a little bit about Mexican independence and interactions with like the Texas when it basically tried to become an independent thing. But I need to know more about that. But Canadian and US I've got a decent amount under my belt. Discerning taste. I don't think that's what we need. Should know more about your own history, but fair enough. As I understand it, Canada essentially politely asked to not be part of Britain, the British Empire anymore, and just be part of the Commonwealth, which I appreciate. Okay, and then we can, for 4, we can get rid of that. Then ping my gutter bones. Yep. My god, I'm not doing good ordering. Streaming, surprisingly, makes things a little tougher. It's almost like multitasking's problematic. Now we'll hold this back on blocks. Oh, no, no, no. Don't apologize. Even if you weren't here, I'd still be confusing myself. That's the joy of streaming, and it's a skill set I'm building. About First Peoples, but government-wise, US history you're better with. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, they sacrifice stuff. I have to sack Mishra. Okay, we will move it back to the command zone. And there's Tybalt. Yeah. The countries like the US and Canada, and even Mexico, that are essentially basically young nations, very interesting in general to me. Um, I think the US is kind of the one that gets held up as like the poster child of that, but like it's part of why I really love Irish history, because they're a fairly recent revolutionary state by what US was 76 for Declaration of Independence, and then somewhere in like the 1780s for actually like the Constitution rather than Articles of Confederation. Um so and then Ireland was around, was it 21, because there was the Civil War. But so I mean that's like a 140-year gap. 140 years more recent than the US was for basically, hey, let's break free of Britain. You know, I couldn't even actually tell you when India gained independence from the British Empire. I should fix that. That's kind of an important one. My concept of dates is a bit loosey-goosey. Okay, draw 1, lose 1. Draw 1, lose 1. Sedgemoor Witch. Nice. Now, I think the thing is, I'm secretly actually a just chatting streamer who is using the pretense of playing games as a through line about European history and stuff. Yeah, there is a lot of it. I do wish. Hmm? No, 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 no. All good. Um, Uh, ooh, exile a card from a graveyard. Otherwise, draw a card. Okay, we'll hold on to that. That's an option. Um, but ooh, if you have 10 or less life, okay, we're good. Um, I wish, I wish that more classes that were talking about European history. No, no, not. I am here to interact. I am here to chat. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm secretly a just chatting streamer, really. So that's I enjoy talking with you. Um, basically, it's it's also fun for me because it's helping me develop this skill set of being able to hold a conversation and do another task. Although technically, psychologically speaking, best we can figure multitasking is a lie. Best you can do is basically rapidly alternate between tasks, or if you can find a way to basically combine two tasks into being just one mentally. Um, but I really wish that a lot of European history classes would also cover more like West Asian uh history, because like what was going on in Turkey and whatnot is a really important part of what's going on in Europe at the time, and I think it's often neglected. Hopefully, in my experience with the American education system, we never really touched on it. Like, we touched on it a little bit when we were talking about, here's what happened back in the good old days of, the Bronze Age, right? We talked about, like, Phoenicia and Babylonia. But anything more recent than that, hardly touched on, the entire Islamic world, hardly touched on what was going on with China and Japan and Korea. Oh no, that's rough. That's it is tough when a teacher has to leave uh, early. I had I had that with a couple of teachers who were pregnant, and one who there was also one who unfortunately passed away due to spinal cancer after about a month, which really sucked. She was a really great teacher and was doing a lot of fun stuff, and it she tried so hard to have it impact us as little as possible. Okay, making us sacrifice the Sedgemoor Witch? No! Only if an opponent lost life this turn. Didn't they attack with the Audacious? No, that was a different turn. No! Okay. They got us. We got. Oh no! That sounds really cool and awesome, and I can also see exactly how that scenario would play out. That's rough. That's why you keep all of that cool stuff by going to like local historic reenactment stuff. Um, because I know the US and a couple places in Canada will do like cool old heritage sites where they'll have like living historians type stuff. It's been like 5 months on the other hand. Okay. So it's not like the rest of the lesson plan was filling stuff in for you. We'll let them have this. We'll do a couple more games. Um, highly recommend. So I mentioned Townsend's is a great channel for like U.S. colonial history. about a month of subs, and then your second semester, no. Oh, and then second semester hit. Gotcha. And it's a lot easier to do the trade over at that point. I think we mulligan. Umbral Juke. Sure, we can keep that. Yeah, so Townsend's great for US colonial history. I also highly recommend, Extra History is a lovely, lovely, animated series, that touches on a lot of historical concept and is very driven by its patrons. Ooh, weird card, okay. Mm-hmm. 2 damage to a target. Discard a card. Okay, I guess we just hold for now and we see if we get better options. Into the north, they ramp. Ramping, another term. Ramping, I believe, I'm guessing partially from a card called Rampant Growth, but it's things that let you get more land or other things that produce mana. When you tap a land, it produces a mana. So ramping is things that help accelerate that process. Get to go skiing tomorrow? Fun. I hope that goes well. We will make them discard and kill their 1/1. Hope there's enough snow for it. Crackle with power. Yeesh. Okay. Ah. That's not good. Hopefully there's still enough, though. I think we juke their Tyrannodon, which seems terrifying. At least you like the place good. As long as it's good vibes, even if you can't do the main activity. Beanstalk Giant, more ramping. Ramp, ramp, ramp. Well, Mishra claimed by Gix. Expensive things are nice, but then you also have to pay for them. The eternal struggle. What a great name, Crunch Wrangler. I'm not sure I want my Crunch wrangled, but good for them. Okay, now we understand how this card works. We pay 3, and then we deal 1 to the one with 1 toughness, and 2 to the one with 2 toughness. Okay, that's not too awful. It's funny, Yes, we actually won one. Dun dun dun. Yes! And so I think, let's see if we can get 2 more wins and then probably wrap it up. So this is a fun little event. They've been drip feeding us like little clues that we can turn in for like a little bit of reward. And then once you got all of them, you unlock this fun little event where we're playing with some like event decks from times past. Well, I need to, eat breakfast and whatnot before the afternoon stream, and it's not the last you see of me today. We'll keep this. It's probably inadvisable, but we're gonna try it. And we'll hold on to the Mishra's Bauble. I appreciate it. Usher of the Fallen. Yep, we're not doing anything else with the mana that turn, so play out the other tap land. Whee! Hopefully Ghost Forge. I don't remember well. Oh, right, you get to make spirit token copies. Neat. Ooh. Okay, we might get to do the very silly thing. So there's a very strange mechanic called Meld, where if you play two halves, basically there's two different cards that if you do something with them together, they become a third much bigger card. And Mishra, our commander, melds with this Phyrexian Dragon engine. So if this survives, and then we get to attack with both, we get to make a very silly big thing. I suspect it's going to die a horrible, horrible death, but we can dream. And there it dies a horrible, horrible death. On the bright side, this is something that we can... Yes. On the bright side, it is something that we can bring back out of our graveyard on a future turn. So it's not... Our dream isn't entirely dead. We still have hope. It's actually, we have the extra land, so if Mishra survives and they don't have an instant speed piece of removal... Oh, that's so good! That's so good! We get to do the thing! So, we unearth it, it comes back from the graveyard, and has haste. I like our hand, so we will not. And then we get to attack. Yes, it does. It fills me with determination. And now we're attacking with a 9/9 that does horrible, awful stuff that I don't even remember. We wrath their board. We make them discard 2. And we'll deal 3 damage to them. Yep, okay, they just... God. There was too much value. I didn't know how to handle it. Okay. Neat. Yep. There's that good luck. Rakdos, patron of chaos. You are. It's fun having good luck charms. Like, Cholera, very good luck in draft. Pretty much. Rakdos in the story is the demon lord of a cult that I would best describe as the theater kids. Think lots of leather spikes and kind of goth vibes, but partying by being acrobats with flames and torture devices. Yeah, it's pretty rad. Yeah, we can mulligan. Ooh, no black mana. Mulligan once more. Sure. Okay. Okay. Get rid of Crash Through. Random question, have you heard of the Sandman comic books by Neil Gaiman? I have heard of them. I have not interacted with them, but I've heard very good things. Oh god, I still need to read Good Omens. I'm staring at it on my bookshelf just off to my right. Terry Pratchett plus Neil Gaiman? What a team-up. Oh, yo! It's a Shadowbarn Apostle deck? That's hilarious. You finished it and got emotional? Well, I'm glad it was that good then. Okay, so we can use Mishra's command. We could snipe one of them? That might actually be worth it. Aww. Well, hopefully you were surrounded by people who weren't going to take that and tease you about it, because if you can get emotional over a good story, I think that's an awesome thing. It has been a long time since I've actually cried at something. I think the closest I've come is, like, Violet Evergarden. Ah, I know they've got like an additional chunk. I watched the original stuff, but I think there's been additional stuff that I have not interacted with. It was good from what I remember. I watched the entirety of it in one night, so it kind of blurs together a bit. Shadowborn Apostle, Shadowborn Apostle, and Shadowborn Apostle. Let me guess, Shadowborn Apostle. Hey. um. So this is a very slightly goofy deck because generally speaking, you only get to have up to 4 copies of card in a deck. In this particular format, you only get 3. But this is a card that has a rule that says, hey, you can put any number you want in your deck. From the adult, yes, because I wasn't expecting that much. Fair enough, very fair. It does kind of come out of nowhere. And we will do this for 2. We get to target the player for the draw and discard, and then we will Zot a Shadowborn Apostle. Yeah, I do think it was a good show. Even if, again, my memories of it are kind of hazy. Yay, swamp. Whee! I suspect I'm about to get demoned. Shadowborn Apostle. No. Thank you. They're highly enthusiastic, and not at all vaguely. Not me, like, halfway noping out of them. Appreciated. What demon are they fetching? So, Shadowborn Apostle, you get to play any number of copies in your deck. And then if you get 6 of them, you can sacrifice all 6 and trade them in for a big old demon. Dreadfeast Demon. Ah. So this lets them upgrade their little 1/1s and turn them into big old 6/6 demons. Pretty good deal. We will pitch the dig site. That's going to be very hard for us to deal with. I don't think we have a lot of hard removal, and then these also both get separate triggers. Ooh. Ooh. Don't believe in me too hard. I'm about 30 seconds away from hitting the concede button and going to a new game. No attacks. Because, I mean, that's 12 damage in the air, and then they make probably another 2. It's generally speaking not, but if there's no way to handle it, I am a big advocate of not giving up early in a Magic game. I think there are a lot of people who hit the concede button too early, but this is a situation, right, where I need to deal with 2 6/6 flyers to have any hope of anything. I don't think this deck has that kind of wrath capability. Now it's 3 6/6 flyers. And trade in the Gix, 4 6/6 flyers. So I need to deal with 4 6/6 flyers. So I need Deadly Cover Up or Damnation. We don't have either. So instead what we'll do is we go out the fun way, we play a card that will make us lose 3 life, so we actually just die. One of your games you rage quit 100 times? You know, rage quitting is not necessarily great, right? If you get to the point where you are rage quitting, but if you're getting to the point where you are frustrated, but before you like fully, like flame out, I think that's still totally fine. Look at how long it took me to get through Sans. I think there was one time where I would say I probably got to the point of like rage quit. With that, but it's a process. It's little by little and trying to be good to yourself while you're going through it. Make sure the person does not win. Yep. That's not fantastic. But it also sounds like you've got that identified, so that's the first step towards working on it, right? Just means that it's something to work on. Life is a process. First step is identifying things. Okay. I say, as if I had some sort of immense wisdom. Thieves Guild Enforcer. Okay. So they get a little milling going. We're just gonna kill that, and let's get rid of light up the stage, I think. Because I was at the point where, you know, it's taking the honorable way out. I have a lot more fun if I can find a way to off myself rather than simply hit the concede button if I have no other ways out. It's like one step above. If someone else does that, I have a little more respect for them. They're thinking about things a little more. And having fun. So we can exile that to gain 3 life. I think we'd much rather cycle this to draw a card. I guess we can exile our own land. Let's exile their own land. Yep. Great quotes taken out of context. Just feels a little more special that way. So this is what it's like. Seeing the other side of the streamer coin. Now I'm the one who gets to get clipped out of context. Rick's Matty Reveler. What do you do again? Discard, draw, and... Ah, okay. So fun little cycle through your hands. Because everything's a circus, the world is a play. A pain land. Delightful. Because what we really need is losing more life right now. But very Rakdos. You know, comedy is hit and miss. There are times where you are funny, and there are times where, okay, it doesn't land. That's okay. Believe me, my form of humor is usually quantity over quality, so... You throw stuff out, you learn what sticks, and again, just like I was saying, life is a process, so is comedy. Everything's a process if you try hard enough. Yes, yes. Okay. So we could run out double vision. We take 7, which hurts. But then we can do goofier stuff if we draw a good creature. Let's try it. Yes! Other fantastic quotes that I'm sure can't be used to say horrible, horrible things. But no, as someone who has struggled a lot with like a perfection streak, learning how to just go, nope, you don't need to get it right the first time. You just need to learn a little bit more the first time. There are some things where you do need to get it right the first time, but even then, most of the time, you still have a chance to try again. Like, diffusing a bomb. You know, you probably really need to get that right the first time. But most other things, you get a second chance. Oh, wait, oh! I thought this was the creature one. Ah. Neat, okay. That was not what I thought it was. Cool. Huh. Hello again. Flame Skull. Can't block when it dies. Till the end of your next turn. There are so many shiny things in the world. This is very understandable. So we could use this to kill 2 things, is probably our best bet. Yeah. Yeah. So we kill... So we probably need to kill Valky so they can't just, like, flip it up. So we pay 2. We deal 1 there and 1 there because that doesn't have haste. We're definitely gonna survive and not die a horrible, horrible death. Yeah. Yes. Haha. You won't get to play this on anything, so you just get to replay the thing I just killed. But, it buys me more time. It's great when a little bit of murder buys you more time. There's another quote for the bank. Okay. So if I cast this, it gets copied, but the modes are locked in. We can return creature cards from graveyard to hand. So we could return a Lagomos. So copying this lets us kill 2 things. Killing 2 things is great, but what do we want the other mode to be? Discard doesn't help much. Destroying artifact, we only kill 1 extra creature, and then we also have to destroy our treasure, which is not great. We have 8 mana if we use the treasure. So we could do that, and then 5 mana. So we don't really want to use the treasure. Okay. We'll return stuff. Return a creature. There we go. Return Lagomos. We will then we'll destroy the Plague Crafter the first time around. Double return Lagomos. Then I guess we try and hit the Flame Skull again, because it's flying. Supposed to be watching Wall-E in class the other day, instead I was brutally murdering people in video games. Fair enough. You know, lovely, cute little movie about trying to heal the earth and whatnot, versus rip and tear. Okay, sure, we'll play this since it can block stuff, and then we also can leave up Deadly Dispute. Or actually, we attack with this, and then if they don't block with it, we can Deadly Dispute it. From the darkness? Yay! Important things. It's for their own good. I think they've still got lethal, because I think they run out the Fire Skull again, sack with Priest of Forgotten Gods, gets rid of my blocker, I lose 2 life, and then they get in for 4? I think is how this turn plays out, right? Let's see if they see the line. Perhaps more morally gray than it was originally painted to be. Dun dun dun. Aha. Although they didn't use the Flame Skull. Ah, the beauties of Sally Face. Oh dear. Forcing moral choices. Do they have the extra damage? If they had done Flame Skull, this would have worked. It doesn't have haste. Do we get another time? Don't worry. It went in one ear and right out the other. I'm intentionally trying not to lock it in all that much. So, pulling something back. So, this gives us a chance. We'll need to somehow handle both the Flame Skull and... because we can't be exiling it, right? Because... Oh, Oh, I guess there is a time it hits the graveyard, so we could be using Cling to Dust. We haven't had the mana to survive and do that, but... Oh, but we gain 3 life. Maybe that is what I should have been doing. So this will let us gain a life. Okay, do we have any... So this will let us gain life as well. So, first step, we gain 1 life here. Let's go grab a swamp. Probably should have been a mountain. We're then going to Discerning Taste. If we've been a large creature, we gain a lot of life. That was not it. But we can do Twinferno to double up on a spell if we get one. We really want, like, burn down the house. Phyrexian Dragon Engine doesn't save stuff. Then we could do Professor Onyx. Could set us up for future turns. Sure, we'll grab Professor Onyx. I don't think any of those other cards save us. So I think we're still just dead here. Yep, I think we are just dead. Alas and alack. You look at the games you play, and when you go to Sallyface, everyone's streaming it as Russian for some reason. Wonder if it's popular, or I wonder if there was a popular Russian-speaking figure that played it so that it's going through like a popularity cycle in those spheres right now? Maybe? Don't know. I do need to learn more Russian. I've got the alphabet mostly down, but I should know how to say more than Zdravstvuyte. Ooh, okay. Okay. Good aggressive hand. None of the things that make it pop off, but... I figured it was something to that effect. I think about half of the 31 folks who are currently following, I think it was Undertale, which is really neat. I'm glad that there's still a community that's enjoying the game so much. I'm sad that it took me so long to get there, but it was fun, and I'm hopeful that it was good for folks who popped in to get to see someone experiencing it for the first time again. Yes, exactly. People stick around. I think we do the Young Pyromancer, and then we can Infantry and Gutterbones. We would love to draw some spells to make things happen. Appreciated. Glad my winning personality. Keep things around. Keep folks around, not things. You are not things. I was using things as a generic word, and that sounds, again, terrible out of context. Actually, it sounds terrible in context specifically, but... Words be difficult sometimes. Aha. I mean, technically, all people are also things. This is how entities are. Oh. Oh, interesting. So we could make our entire board very big and strong. We might do that. But we'll do Mishra first. We'll attack in with everything. We get to zot them for a fair bit of life. And then next turn, we can see a pair of goblins. Look at those gorgeous little faces. Just some little guys. Wanna attack? You know you want to attack. Oh, they did want to attack. You fool! We've got you now. Yeah, I think we Tianali's Summoner. Why fool? Because we have a much better board state. So them attacking us, they probably wanted to use this to try and trade with something when we attacked. because it's big enough that it could kill some of our stuff. Instead, we get to do a very big, scary attack, and they have conceded. Okay. um, basically, that's a card that lets them do some very big early attacks and whatnot. Um, but it can only do it under certain circumstances. They had stuff that was meeting those requirements, so yay, get the value. The problem is, we got to hit them back harder. So, there we go. And that puts us to 5 wins and noon. So we'll probably wrap it up. Oh, yes, what's her name? She's the investigator, the exit specialist, I think. Hold up. Exit specialist. Yeah, her. Oh, she doesn't have any flavor text. Looking at her stuff, though, I'm guessing she is part of the detective agency from the new set. So, very brief lore dump before I go. The current set is called Murdersatkarlovmanor Manor. Oh, the one I just got. Oh, I didn't even... Oh, that was, Vanifar. So, the very brief lore explanation before I dip. The plane that we're currently on is... The set we're in is called Murders at Karlov Manor. Karlov Manor is the residence of a very powerful sort of like... think a church, but even more crimey. Called the Orzhov Syndicate. Essentially, they are an organized crime family that uses a church as a front for extracting large amounts of tithing and so on, and then binding souls to their service after they die as part of like a debt contract. The Karlovs are a big prominent family in that. Teysa Karlov being the like oligarch of the family. And then she's found murdered. And we've got a bunch of people who go, or no, she isn't found murdered. The sister of that lady we got, Vanifar, is found murdered. Zagana, who is this sort of like fish lady who does a lot of like biomodification on herself. She's found murdered at the Karlov Manor, and then later Teysa is found murdered, and we've got people investigating it. It's on this plane that is sort of a it's technically, I believe it's called an ecumenopolis. It's nice and like film noir-y. But basically magic has planes as a concept, so that's how we sort of have the pretense for different like feels of sets and whatnot. Is there are different planes that each have different things going on, and they're basically separate worlds that we are able to sort of jump between because there are characters called planeswalkers, which have a spark that lets them travel the blind eternities, which is sort of the wall that separates planes. So Ravnica is a plane that's called an ecumenopolis is the word for it. It's basically, it is a plane that is made entirely out of city. There is not there are a few spots of wild on it, but even those wilds are inhabited by a sort of tribal guild called the Gruul, who are trying to reclaim nature. But basically the entire plane is a city, and that city is operated by 10 guilds. The guilds of Ravnica. So yeah, go Gruul people. Gruul smash is a very oft repeated what's the word for that? Motto, I guess. But basically, those 10 guilds are built around each of the 10 two-color pairs in Magic, so they've each got kind of different characters based on it. That's a whole thing I could go into of like the color theory of Magic, which is very interesting and fun, but probably not a brief wrap-up thing. But basically, with those 10 guilds, they've struck like a careful balance. There's a bunch of like fancy legal contracts that are magically binding and whatnot to try and operate and make sure that, you know, the Rakdos, which the yay Satan, the Rakdos cult that, you know, like to hold like blood and gore parties in the streets, don't, you know, like get too much blood on the cloaks of the Azoria Senate, who are trying to just, you know, make thousands more laws to make everything nice and orderly and regulated. Um, so there's just a very fun interplay. It's a very kind of modern feeling plane. It feels a lot more at home to our generation than say like, oh yes, exploring the wild jungles of Zendikar or whatnot. So it's meant to sort of be a like modern analog plane in a lot of ways. It doesn't have digital technology, but it's something where the magic kind of fills in for that, and it feels a lot more normal. Um, but so it's very cool vibes. So the Orzhov are one of the 10 guilds. They're the black-white one that sort of runs churches and collects tithes and sort of keeps the wheels of commerce moving. Um, and the Simic is what the fish lady is from. They are green and blue, and they're into like sort of transhumanism. They're all about like, okay, but hear me out. What if we took a shark and then we added a crab to it, and then, I know this is wild and crazy, we also added an octopus, and then you get a shark crab octopus, and you're like, I mean, I don't know why this is good, but we could do it. Isn't that neat? Um, so I guess sort of has science gone too far? Of sort of like bioengineering. So those are the two guilds that ended up with folks dying. And then the Azorius, which are blue-white, they're the very like law and order type folks, come in and investigate. But in this set, we learn that there's a whole like underbelly of detective agencies, and or I guess there's one detective agency, and we just find out that a lot of people are detectives. Um, but there's an independent detective agency that this gal is a part of that comes in, and they're the ones who actually manage to solve the crime rather than the Azorius Senate, which kind of understandably makes the Azorius a bit miffed because the guilds are very like hoity-toity. Oh yes, we are the guilds, and if you're not part of us, what are you even doing here on Ravnica? They're very like exclusive. So it's fun that we sort of get to see folks stick it to the guilds. So fun set. Probably, I promise there's no quiz. Do not expect you to remember any of this. But so that is why there's this hot lady and the hot fish lady is detective agency and bioengineering guild. I just flashed a little thumbs up very awkwardly, but you can't see my fingers, so mental imagery. Yay. But with that lore dump, I should really get going so that I can eat and get things rendered before I'm on for the afternoon stream, which will be some more Baba Is You. So, this was a blast. It was fun, even though we got our butt handed to us. Yep, no obligation. Oh, howdy, Cholera. Just popped in at the perfect moment as I'm wrapping up, but this is the totally... Yep, all good. I was also late. This is the totally normal event that you unlock if you manage to figure out all the clues. So, highly recommend it. You get to play with fun event decks. Um, I will be back at 2 p.m. Pacific for some more Baba Is You, but we are going to call that for Magic this morning. Had a blast. It was good talking, even though we did not perform super well. So, hope that the rest of you, hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day if I don't see you again, and hopefully do see you at 2 for more Baba Is You. Thank you, and bye!